Wel, y pnawn da i chi gyd, noswaith da i chi gyd. Mae braf iawn bod yma. Mae fel rhyw hafan i mewn yn fan hyn yng nghynhadledd Plaid Cymru. Ceiwch y drysa a da chi bron iawn yn gallu anghofio am y llanast sy'n digwydd yn y byd gwleidyddol, am y byd gwleidyddol sy'n disgyn yn ddarna o'n cwmpas ni. You know, this centre in Llandudno has seen many shows and cabarets and comedies over the years, but no scriptwriter would think they could ever get away with penning the kind of farce that has been played out in front of us over the past few weeks, or is it months or years. And of course, a political farce it may be, but it's not funny. It's not funny at all. It is very, very real. That farcical mini-budget, real. A real shattering of the economy, undermining confidence, pushing up interest rates, crashing the pound, mortgage payments up, families struggling to cope. Families who are already struggling to cope with the cost of living crisis, sky-high inflation, prices rocketing, energy unaffordable, and it's always those with least who suffer most. Cut taxes for the super rich. Lift the cap on bankers' bonuses. Yeah, sure, that's the priority in a cost of living crisis. Well, it is. If all you care for is feathering the nests of those at the top with a baseless ideological belief, farcical again, that some of those feathers will flutter down eventually and give some comforts to the rest. They won't. They never will, and it is shameful what they have done. You know, we'll do everything that we possibly can in Plaid Cymru to help those who are paying the price for those shameful actions. It's all hands on deck for us, isn't it? At all levels, our representatives in local government, the councils we lead, taking action on the ground. The Senedd group, as Adam has said earlier, putting forward ideas for using the levers that we have here at our disposal in Wales, frustrated all too often that the Labour Welsh Government isn't ready to use them. And of course, our team at Westminster too. Mi ges i y newis yn ddiweddar yn ymgeisydd Plaid Cymru dros Ynys Mon ar gyfer yr etholiad nesaf i San Steffan. Dwi'n ddiolchgar rhyfeddol am y gefnogaeth unfrydol gefes i. Ond y cwestiwn mae llawer wedi i ofyn ydy pam? Pam fyddwn ni sy'n mor falch o allu cynrychioli yng nghymuned yn Senedd yng ngwlad am wneud hyn. Dwi'n cael yn hemptio i ddeud i fod o fel rhedeg i ffwrdd i ymuno fo'r syrcas. Ydy mae o'n syrcas, mae hynny tu hwnt i amheuaeth, ond na, nid rhyw ddeheuad rhamantaidd i fod yn rhan o syrcas San Steffan ydy hyn. Yn hytrach, mi ddath hi'n amlwg i fi y dylwn i wneud hyn. Bod rhaid i fi wneud hyn. Yn gyntaf, os ydych chi'n credu bod Llywodraeth yn gweithredu yn erbyn buddiannau eich cymuned a'ch gwlad, mae'n rhaid trio gwneud rhywbeth am y peth. Mae Llywodraeth Geidwadol Greulon y Deyrnas Unedig wedi ac yn gweithio yn gyson yn erbyn buddiannau Môn. Y bregus, y bobl sy'n methu cadw dau ben llinyn ynghyd yn gweithredu yn erbyn yr amgylchedd, yn groes i fuddiannau amaeth, yn mynd yn groes i unrhyw un sy'n credu mewn tegwch. Ac wrth gwrs maen nhw yn gweithredu ac yn gweithio yn gyson yn groes i fuddiannau Cymru, yn tanseilio Cymru. Allai gweledigaeth nhw, ella bod hi'n mod yn garedig yn y fan yna, os ganddyn nhw weledigaeth o gwbl, ddim bod yn fwy wahanol i'n weledigaeth i, ar gyfer y math o Gymru hyderus, deg, llewyrchus, annibynnol dwi isio i gweld. Mae'n ddyletswydd arna i sefyll dros yr hyn dwi, a da ni yn credu ynddo fo mwyn gwarchod a hybu buddiannau cwbl sylfaenol yn cymunedau a'n gwlad. Os da chi hefyd yn credu fel fi bod angen defnyddio bob platfform i frwydro dros wireddu yn gweledigaeth ni, dros degwch, dros gyfiawnder, dros ddyfodol Cymru, yna mae'n rhaid meddiannu y platfforma yna ar ran ac mewn partneriaeth efo'n cymunedau. Os nad ydym ni'n gwneud, da ni'n gadael i rywun arall wneud, ac allai i ddim caniatáu i hynny ddigwydd. A pan da ni'n edrych ar y drafodaeth sy'n mynd i fod yn datblygu o ran dyfodol y Deyrnas Unedig yn y blynyddoedd nesaf, annibyniaeth i'r Alban, uno, Iwerddon, oes yr undeb yn dod i ben, yna mae cryfhau yn llais ni o fewn y trafodaethau yna ar y platfforma hynny sy'n amlwg yn cynnwys tir gyffredin ar hyn o bryd yn mynd i fod yn allweddol. Mae'n rhaid i ni sicrhau bod llais Cymru yn cael ei glywed. Mae ganddyn ni dîm anhygoel yn i'r gyffredin, yn Liz, Ben a Hywel. Dwi eisiau gweithio efo nhw a chryfhau y llais hwnnw ymhellach dros Gymru. I want to work with and support our brilliant team at Westminster to give Wales an even stronger voice, and I'll make sure that Ynys Mon's voice is heard in jobs, in energy projects, the ports and town of Holyhead, in support for areas really hit hard in recent years, like Amlwch and the north of the island, and seeking back the investment stolen from us after Brexit, despite the empty, not a penny less promises. I want to make sure the interests of all the people of Ynys Mon are served and promoted. That wonderful community in which I grew up and which gave me so much. And I and Plaid Cymru will put Wales and all our communities first. Cymru I bawb, a Cymru for all. But I promise this. We will have to and we will work hard for this, uniting Ynys Mon. No complacency, taking nothing for granted, earning trust, earning support, not buying it, as Conservatives try to, having brought money flooding in from rich donors way beyond Wales's borders just to bolster the party ideology at the people's expense. Mi fydd hon yn frwydr a dwi'n gwahodd pob un ohonoch chi i ymuno efo hi. Mae'r wobr yn fawr, ond o stryd i stryd, o ddrws i ddrws, y gnawn ni hennill hi ag uno Mon mwyn pawb y Mon ag bydd Cymru yn ehangach. You know, we should be surprised at nothing now in UK politics, but I do find it staggering that the Conservatives aren't allowing us an election right now, immediately. Staggering to think that it's somehow defensible to stumble from one out-of-touch leader to another clueless leader, to whatever kind of leader they can patch together in the next week. Perhaps a return to the out-of-touch leader, perhaps. Clinging to power throughout, clinging to power, and that we'll all think this is okay. It's not okay. I want an election now to get rid of this cruel Conservative government. But it's not that simple either. As I make that call, I do so knowing the challenges we'll face with the alternative too. You can see from its running of the NHS here in Wales that Labour too are massively conservative in so many ways. Labour is the establishment here, after all. Speaking on health and care for Plaid Cymru in the Senedd, it is so frustrating week in, week out, seeing a Labour Welsh government stuck in a rut when it comes to the NHS. It won't own up to mistakes. It won't innovate. It won't change direction when it's most needed. I feel so much for our health and care staff. So many overworked, so many underpaid, and yearning above all, I think, to be working within sustainable services. But from the failure to give us a plan B for health in the north, to delay after delay with introducing a much-needed cancer strategy, underinvestment in social care and its staff, to the vast waiting lists and clear signs that COVID recovery targets are way off being met, to now even turning a blind eye to our concerns about the future of the air ambulance we love so dearly. We have so much to do to hold this government to account when it comes to health and care. But we will work with them, of course, where we can. Cooperation on areas where we can persuade and cajole is mature. Getting results is good politics. But just as we need a strong Plaid Cymru to hold Labour ministers in Wales to account, we need to be sure we have a strong Plaid Cymru team to hold Westminster governments of all colours to account on the things that matter to our communities. As we've seen, governments with large majorities become complacent. With a vote for Plaid Cymru, Ynys Mon, and throughout Wales, we can end the reign of Cameron, May, Johnson, Truss. Any more? Or is that's next week? Maybe it's back to Johnson. But we can end that chaos and show at the same time that we're serious about holding all UK governments to account for the good of Wales. Mae'n rhyfeddu fi bod yr llanast, yr chaos yna, da ni yn byw drwyddo fo yn wleidyddol ar hyn o bryd, yn dal heb berswadio llafur yng Nghymru i ddechrau meddwl o ddifri am y niwed parhaus mae cael yn clymu fel yr ydan ni i'r wladwriaeth yma yn ei wneud. Drychwch ar niwed yr wythnosa diwetha. Hyd yn oed yn wyneb y niwed yna, da ni'n cael yn annog i ystyried y status quo fel polisi yswiriant. O, sori, ond os rhywun yn trio gwerthu yswiriant fatha hyn i'ch car chi, fyddwch chi ddim yn rhy hapus. Lle mae gen y cwmni yswiriant yr hawl i dynnu'r petrol o'ch tanc chi unrhyw bryd yr hoffen nhw, a pan maen nhw'n rhoi'r goriad i Liz Truss a Kwasi Kwarteng, heb hyd yn oed ofyn i chi, maen nhw'n ei yrru fo oddi ar y clogwyn. Pa fath o bolisi yswiriant ydy hwnnw? Go compare efo gwledydd eraill sydd wedi penderfynu dilyn i cwys eu hunain, a faint o'r rheini sydd wedi penderfynu troi y cloc yn ôl. We have a vision, and it's a vision with a very, very clear purpose, of a confident Wales, up for the kind of challenges that you'd fully expect when you're trying to transform a nation's fortunes. An international Wales, not the ever more inward-looking UK establishment that's ripped so many opportunities away from our outward-looking young people. And let's remember here in Llandudno that we do this for them. In fighting for justice and support for our communities struggling in the here and now, we're looking to future-proof Wales for the young people of today and for future generations. The chaos in Westminster reminds us that there is an alternative, that there is a better way, and we have no choice but to ensure that our response to that chaos becomes the energy needed to build a new Wales. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Diolch yn fawr.